swam, we drank wine, we splashed in the water, and threw some pool floats in. We were just having so much fun.
Never see, come see. That's what we say in the Caribbean. It is when somebody has never had a pool in their lives, never seen anything luxurious in life, and finally they get it and they have to constantly show off about how much stuff they have. People have pools. This is Meghan Markle in her podcast with a bunch of wine moms just talking a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, really. I could stop it there. Anyway, let's just jump right in. So Meghan Markle talks about how Sophie Trudeau, who is the wife of this man, Justin Trudeau, who thought it was completely normal to go in black/brown face to some kind of party. I don't really know. I don't really know very much about Canadian politics, and honestly, I don't care. But I do know that Justin Trudeau is an embarrassment. So this clearly raging alcoholic, Sophia Trudeau, is talking about...
For homies, it's Sophie G in the house, but nobody knows that. Okay.
And they go through this whole origin story of when they first met. I think with podcasts, when you interview people that you actually genuinely know, you just say, oh, but I know you for a long time, so I know that's how you are. You don't have to put a whole origin story in the first place. You do not. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just really triggered because this blackface thing is got me. And also, Meghan Markle is such a Nazi. It's just So Meghan talks now about
how crushing the guilt of expectations can become.
Which I'm just going to summarize really quickly. She's trying to tie us into her problem with the royal family because she did a bait and switch tactic with the royal family where she was like, I'm all signed up for this. I know what it's like to be a princess, my darling. I am this actress. I am this philanthropist. I am this feminist, and I have so much to share with the world. And then just basically, peace, I'm out. This podcast should have been called Bad Princess instead of Bad Mom and Bad Wife. And the way I know that Sophia Trudeau is so nutty besides being married to this man is that she says this amazing quote. Well, at least Meghan Markle thinks it's so amazing.
We often define freedom as a way to be free from the world, but it's really a way to be free in the world. A way to be free in the world, not free from the world.
I disagree. I think you have to be free from something. You have to be free from the shackles, free from the chains. Free immediately conjures up the idea of being captured. So yeah, you got to be free from something. And I think it's so superficial because I think Meghan really wants to be superficial because obviously she wants to be relatable. And she just doesn't know how to be relatable. And that's a shame. Instead of pretending authenticity, relatability for her would just be like, you know what? Hey, I was a theater kid. My dad was just his lighting director. And I was just this lighting girl, dad thing. I wish I was more important. But now I am because I've just manipulated this dumbass Harry into thinking that I am the most important thing in the world. So here I am. But anyway, Meghan shares this poem with Soph. And it's really about again, justifying why she left the royal family because one must be selfish and look out only for themselves. Did I mention that I feel like I'm on a roller coaster in this podcast? Reviewing this podcast made me feel like I was on a literal roller coaster, which I was on the weekend, and this is how I felt. It is so much editing malfunctions and just going back and forth oh, I'm going to interview this person, but no, I'm not now. I'm going to interview this other person. So it goes back and forth to that a lot. And so please understand this is very difficult. It's a very difficult job for me. The poet dials back all the feminists, so Meghan Markle calls herself a feminist. She does it at the end of this podcast as well, but she also calls Harry a feminist. And this poet basically walks back that whole idea of feminism and equality and that women can do everything that men do by saying the pursuit of ambition is an illusion. So Pamela Adlon, who's a comedian, but then it switches to Sam J complaining about how her partner does all these lovely things for her and she can't appreciate it. So let's just get back on track. Meghan Markle brings up the Gloria Steinem birthday party where she thought that Gloria Steinem should have a totally different birthday party than she did have. She should have had a much more quiet one. We hear that story once again. There's so much production and editing in this podcast that there should not be anything repeated. So Pamela likes to go by the name Jupiter, and she goes on to how that is a name that she should have been blessed with by the stars and the universe and a whole bunch of crap. She is also a subscriber of nepotism in the sense that her father was also big in Hollywood. He was a writer, and that's how she got on everything. And that's where I go back to saying that Meghan is fetishizing these women who had bigger Hollywood dads, if you will. Okay. Pamela's mom is from England, and Pamela says, I know how to deal with all those. I know the English problems you have because my mom, whatever. And Meghan says that she found the examination to become British so difficult.
That citizenship exam is so hard. I was studying for it, and I remember going, oh my goodness.
No, it's not.
I think they made it harder for you.
You think?
Yeah, they were like, we're going to really throw up walls on this one.
They curated your test so that it'd be so hard that you couldn't pass it. But I mean, if there was an IQ test, that should be it for Meghan Markle. The British citizenship exam was so hard. It's not. You speak English, Meghan. How about all the people who don't speak English? Somebody expects her to be a Stepford wife, and the mom guilt is put on by everybody else. Mom guilt is a self-inflicted guilt. Pamela complains at one point about how, you want your children to say mommy, mama, mama.
You're dying to hear the words mama. You're just dying to hear them say mama, mama, mummy, or mom, whatever your kids call you.
Yeah.
And then that's all you hear. Mom, mommy, mom, 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 mom. I put this in my show. And then you're like, oh God, please stop saying that.
I think most people, they're so happy to know their children are developmentally sound and that they're speaking and they're saying mama. And I think of the children who can't speak and no, seriously, that's what I went through. When my son was going, mama, 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 I was like, I should embrace this fully. In other words, this whole podcast is about a bunch of women who are not grateful for anything nice that happens to them in their partnerships, in their lives, in their children, and they're just complaining the whole time. And if they can complain about these things, then Meghan Markle surely should be able to complain about being in the royal family. Finally, we do hear from Doria Ragland.
As you said, sugar, my mom's FaceTiming me. Hey, mommy.
Hey. That's my girl.
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. It's okay. I'm recording right now. Do you want to see?
I see.
Hi. We're just doing some podcasting. Can I call you back in a little bit? It was just your run-of-the-mill mother-daughter conversation.
Yeah, you have on a smiley face.
I have on a smiley face. I love you. Yeah.
I love you too.
Okay.
I'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye. But my mom, she did this thing. You may have heard this clicking sound that she was doing. All right, gang. My mom literally just pulled out a reference of what I came up with as a cool handshake to do with her when I was about 8, which was snap, scissors, cut, chicken wing. I'm 41 years old, and she's like, okay.
She calls Meghan in the middle of the podcast, so impromptu, of course, and says to her some nonsense. And I mean, if that's not a woman who's been in prison for your whole life, I don't know what is. I said it. Doria is talking to Meghan like she has been in prison for most of Meghan's life, and she's just remembering when she was a toddler. And she's like, boo, 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 boo. Anyway, what about your dad? As she's reminiscing to her childhood, talking about being a mother, and she's reminiscing back to her child, what about your dad, though? What about Thomas Markle, who is definitely wanting to see you and who definitely spent money on you? I don't know. Sophie Trudeau comes back on and says something else in her drunken stupor. Mothering is a way of being. Literally. This is what the content is for Meghan Markle. This is the content. I could feel like somebody's presenting Meghan with a spreadsheet of people who are more unknown than her even. And they're saying, well, which ones do you want to choose from? And she's like, no, this one's too well known. And she's just choosing the most obsolete people that we've never heard of. Look, I'm trying to find out what is going on in this podcast. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find out what is really going on. Finally, Sam J comes on, and she's a black lesbian comedian. What is she? She then complains that her partner, that she's so lovely and so catering to Sam J, that Sam J doesn't understand that, and it's like, why are you doing all that? Like, I don't want the slippers at the door. I don't want you to greet me with a drink. Like, what is that? So she also is a dick. No pun intended. Finally, Pamela comes back to complain and struggle again, and she sounds like a really torn person that needs a lot of therapy. I just can't emphasize that enough. It's very sad to hear her talk to me. She's a very broken person, but she comes on and she talks about, like, you know, well, I don't even know what she's talking about again. What she said? Oh, she said the world needs women, but at the same time, I guess that's like Jordan Peterson opposite thing. Meghan said something about zeitgeist again. This is something I was going to mention like 2 podcasts ago, but basically she uses zeitgeist whenever she doesn't know what the hell's going on. She just says, and that's like a zeitgeist, right? I almost died laughing.
I'm here for you. Stay in touch. Get my number.
Pamela says, get my number. Meghan Markle does not have Pamela's number. They don't know each other. I have more videos coming out this week. Please stick with me. My name is Leilani. I am of Barbados. And please press the bell notifications. Please share my video if you found it interesting. And what else can you do? Subscribe. Oh yeah, subscribe please. Lots of love to you. Okay, bye.
What if the world can change me?